parasols and bow ties, dragons and monsters. You are now tuned in to the Disney Holic Show.
Good one. Hello and welcome to the Disney Holic Show. That's Mike TV.
And that's Jen Diz.
This week we're park hopping in style from Dapper Day at Disneyland to DCA for Swingin' Sounds of Phat Cat Swinger. Then we head to the East Coast for the annual pass preview of Epic Universe. You okay over there?
Yeah,
Yeah. Mike is hyped, you guys, but
I'm
we're going to get
hyped.
to your section in a minute. I'm going to have a moment of a zen for myself first.
Ooh, I need
This
that
is
too.
lovely.
Let's see what went on the West Coast first.
Yeah, what happened over here in good old Disneyland? So Dapper Day happened about a week
Hmm.
and change-ish ago, right? It's been a little bit now.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to like recap on it because it was one of those spur of the moment choices that I was not really prepared for. Like I had forgotten Dapper Day was coming. I didn't plan anything, but I had this outfit that I had created for one of our cruises we went on. Do you
Uh-huh.
remember? So I
Yep.
did what I call, and I don't know, I'm sure a lot of people call it the same thing. I just haven't really seen it, but Dapper Bound, which is
Ooh.
Dapper Day,
Ooh.
where you get dressed up and go to Disneyland, and Bounding, which is Disney Bounding, which is where you theme your outfit to be similar to a character of Disney, any or whatever you want it to be. And then it's just the two together, so it's like a dressy version of a Disney Bound, right?
I really like that as a hybrid mashup.
Me too. It's my favorite, and a lot of people are
It
doing it,
works.
so it's really fun to like catch the ones that are out in the wild on Dapper Day too. So fun. So I did Roger Rabbit. We had done this before on the cruise. You were Benny the Cab, Nicole was
Yes.
Jessica Rabbit, and then I was Roger Rabbit, and we were all freaking so cute. I have to give us some props for that
Very
little
good. That's the fun part
moment in
about
time.
Dapper Bound is you're also dressed up in formal wear.
Yeah, it's like really fun.
Yeah.
So I hadn't like really done much else with that outfit yet. So I was like, I'm gonna take this to Dapper Day because I have it right here, ready to go. It's like all packaged together. I kind of keep my costuming stuff like in the thing where they're all situated, right? So I got it out, ironed it up, and went to Dapper Day kind of last minute, all by myself. Now, here's the thing. Dapper Day by yourself is kind of weird. You know me, I love a solo day at Disneyland. I actually kind of prefer it sometimes, no offense to anybody that I love. However, Dapper Day's an exception to the rule, I think. It's not like you
Huh.
shouldn't go
Interesting.
if you're by yourself, but the things that are fun about Dapper Day are meeting people. And if you're as socially awkward as I am, I just don't like it's much easier for me to talk to strangers when it's me and somebody else talking to strangers, right? Than
Yeah.
just myself. So I was really hesitant. I kept thinking I was going to have all this content for our Instagram of all these great Dapper Bounds, right? And didn't talk to
Ooh.
one
How do you
person.
get around that? Maybe if you just pretend you're at a convention or con or something.
I get nervous there too. I needed a buddy.
Wow.
That's just
Yeah.
me. I
You
needed
know
a
what? I'd
buddy.
also be nervous going to like a Star Wars after night, after dark or something by myself, or especially like Sweetheart Nights. Imagine.
Oh yeah, especially
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Pride
And
night. Like, yeah, you'd want to go with some friends.
right, and it's definitely enjoyable to go alone, but if you are trying to talk to people and you are like me, go with a buddy. I just wish I had planned. It was literally like last minute the night before that I planned to go. So, um, the other thing though about Dapper Day that's really great to have a buddy is taking pictures. I had to keep like bugging other
Oh.
people to take photos of me. I wanted to take a picture in front of the Roger Rabbit cartoon spin
This
and
is why we
you know,
need like those, what do they call them? Instagram boyfriends that just follow you around and take your
Exactly.
video, and they don't want to be in the video, but they'll take it for you.
Right. What would even be cooler, in my opinion, is having someone like you there who's also dressed up, and then we could swap and we know what each
Ooh,
other want.
okay.
We know
Yeah.
like the framing we want, like those kind of things. I had to keep asking strangers and they weren't taking great photos, and that's
Whoops.
fine, but it's not the outcome I wanted, right? So then
Wow,
I'm like, oh,
judgy for a favor
hey,
that has been granted.
hey, I'm just saying. There was a group of people that I asked to take photos of me in front of Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, and they even complimented my Disney bound.
Oh,
They
oh, that's a
caught
good
it. They
place.
knew that I was in front of the ride for a reason, yet all the photos were just me, not the ride behind me.
Oh,
You know what
come
I'm saying?
on. It
Those
is
moments.
weird. It is
Yeah.
weird. I think I
So,
I don't like being asked to take someone's picture, but when I do, I give them a whole lookbook. It's so good and they should be so happy.
yeah, they
But
would
it's
be
fun.
lucky to
It
have you
is
take their
fun.
photo.
It just like stops you in your tracks and if you're on the way somewhere. But it is fun to like know you're giving them like a really good memory.
Right, yeah. And I often, when I ask someone asks me to take a photo, if it's not super obvious, I'll ask them, like, do you want you with the castle behind you, full length? Like, what do you, I kind of ask a little bit before I
Yeah.
take the photos to try to make sure to capture what they're looking for. Um, so sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So I didn't love necessarily all the photos from Dapper Day, and it was also just a little awkward. But I had tons of fun still. Seeing everybody's outfits was just so cool. I actually hung out on the patio on Main Street for a while and just watched. And it was like taking a time warp back in time, right? Because so many people are dressed up,
Oh,
all these
became.
lovely people with their dresses on, holding parasols, walking down Main Street like it's some 1950s kind of stuff going on there. It's just really cute.
Their high heels are
Um,
sinking into the asphalt like opening
it is
day.
D-Day, watch out.
D-Day.
So yeah, it was really fun. I would rather do it again with a buddy, so I'm gonna redo my outfit again, one more time, I think. But something really cute happened. I was waiting in front of Cartoon Spin to get someone to take my photo awkwardly for so long that the cast members noticed me. And she walked over to me and she's like, would you like to ride the ride that you're dressed up as? And I was like, oh my God, yeah, that would be great. Thanks. So she took me to the front of the line and let me cut the whole line
What?
and stuff.
No way. Oh,
So
that's a
cute,
year
right?
of million wishes wish. That's like pretty
Right.
cool. Oh, I love that.
Exactly. And they took a picture of me in the cab also on the ride, which is cute.
Oh, that's so cute.
So yeah, it was lovely. I had made some friends actually going back to that porch that I was sitting on. I made some new friends, some other single riders for the day. They were standing around and hanging out on the porch with me, and we all became buddies. Turns out they're both locals as well. We all traded each other's contact information. We're going to go to the parks together now. So super cool. And we planned to meet later to watch the Dapper dance. And this was going to be on my way out because I had plans that evening. So I was like, all right, I gotta go watch the Dapper Dans with my new friends, and then I got a jet. And I walk over to the Dapper Dans, and there's a million people dressed up in that area right then. And turns out it was like one of those photo ops, but it wasn't listed
Ooh,
on the website, so I had no idea about it. I guess it was one of
wow.
the popular accounts had posted it. But there was hundreds of people there in their Dapper outfits, and it was so, so cute. So I got to be part of that photo. And yeah, it was really, really cute. And people were asking me to take photos of me. That kind of made my day. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
ah,
it is like
I did a good
a
job.
convention cosplay con at the park. What a
Yeah,
cool, especially because it's fan arranged and not official. I
right.
like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Huh.
So nonetheless, a very, very fun day at Disneyland. If you haven't been to Dapper Day and you like getting dressed up once in a while, especially if it's like kind of fun and costumey, I say go for it. Check it out. You can be my buddy since I obviously need them to go to Dapper Day.
My
So
buddy,
we can
my
take photos of each
buddy.
other all day. It'll be great.
Ooh.
But then this last weekend, I actually went back to Disneyland on Saturday and Sunday for one reason only, and it was because it was the only 2 days during the Food and Wine Festival that Phat Cat Swinger was playing in California Adventure. And anyone who knows this podcast should love Phat Cat Swinger too, because they are our intro song, as well as just such an amazing experience watching them. They have such a brilliant stage performance that it's like worth catching. And they have a new I don't know what he's one of the lead singers. Like I don't know how to like what his position is exactly, but he's one of the lead singers. He was on American Idol. I don't know anything about American Idol. His name was Blake
Oh, is he
something.
blonde? Bleach blonde?
I think so.
Oh yeah. Okay. He's okay, that sounds familiar. I feel like I saw that on Instagram once and was like, "Oh, isn't that the guy from American Idol, one of the
Blake
contestants?"
Lively is
No,
Ryan
that's the
Reynolds'
lady.
wife.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
just kidding. Not her. That's the name I keep wanting to say. I can't remember his name, but he was also from Postmodern Jukebox. And
Oh, okay.
so
That's yes, I know who you're talking about now.
they have a little different flair to them now, which I wasn't prepared for. I was like, what is this? Like they're kind of singing some new modern songs to like the swing era, like how you remember when we went to the Edison in
Blake
Disney World, Disney
Lewis
Springs?
is his
Blake
name.
Lewis.
Blake Lewis from season
Thank
6.
you.
He didn't win, but he was popular. He had a following.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, he
Yeah.
is now part of Phat Cat Swinger.
I
So,
love that journey for this guy.
right? Yeah, yeah. So that was really cool getting to see them play. I'm sad that they won't be playing the whole season, but we'll see them soon. But yeah, that's what's going on over here at Disneyland. I have a couple days coming up this week. I'll be in the park. Other than that, what's going on the East Coast, Mike?
What? Okay, so we're even recording this episode like a day earlier so that we can be discussing a fresh out of the universe review slash really what I'm thinking is like let's start building some icebergs here and there today about Epic
Okay.
Universe, and then we have to revisit some of this later because there is so much to unpack and unwind, especially once you start using your Disney holic lens and making all these connections back to Disney and like doing the research about things like which Imagineers worked on this project that came from Disney and worked now at Universal Studios at their parks division. So yeah, there are rabbit holes and icebergs ahead. Iceberg ahead. But I
Oh no.
think we just need to just talk while it's fresh and there's plenty to go over. So where did I go? So this last weekend, so this was April 20th and April 21st, I was able to go to the annual pass preview, which is a ticket that you have to purchase um, for AP holders that allowed us to go to the parks and visit the new Epic Universe park before it opens officially, which is May 22nd. So just about a month out from now. And then part of it too is I stayed at the brand new hotel, which is the Helios Grand by Universal. And that is like in the park. It's like part of the park. It's built into it. And if you can book a theme park view, that is like the I would say
Creme de la
the
creme.
creme de la creme, the crown. It's almost the whole point of it if you're gonna stay at that hotel, and it's similar to other ones like Fantasy, Disney Springs Fantasy, the new thing, the new area at Tokyo Disney Sea. They have a hotel built into that land, so it's similar to some of those parks like that. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about that, the hotel and the new theme park.
Yeah, now this is a big
Yeah,
deal because the Disney Holics first time opening a whole ass theme park.
whole ass theme park. Yeah,
Crazy. I keep
it's
forgetting
crazy.
it. I keep picturing it similar to like Harry Potter Land or something where it's like this extra. I'm like, no, it's a whole extra park.
Yeah, it's great. Like yeah, it was bulldozed and it was a whole flat piece of space to work with, like a blank canvas. Like I think
Amazing.
any, artist or engineer or whatever, like that's a dream to just start from nothing.
Right.
Like it's a
Now, quick question. Are you planning on keeping this spoiler free or not?
Yes,
Just for
let's
our
keep it
listeners to know.
spoiler free
Okay.
today. You know why? Uh, it's not open yet. Like this is a
Right.
preview.
Cheers
And
to
so
you.
we keep it that way. And I think it'll be even more fun to revisit some of the things that we'll keep at bay after you and I get to go in June after the grand opening. So like what is it really like when the show is on? So yeah, so there'll be plenty of ways for us to talk about Epic Universe, I think this year. There's going to be plenty of things
Right.
to talk
Yeah.
about.
This is probably an ongoing thing, right?
Yeah, it's a brand new park with plenty of things to talk about and plenty of palette wetting for the Disney
Ooh.
projects. Like my my wheels were turning left and right thinking about wow, just new innovation, new technology, ride technology, new show technology, new nighttime technology. We have Disney building a Villains Land, which is the one I'm most excited about right now. But we also have the new South America or Tropical Americas over at Animal Kingdom. What can they do now with this new technology? So that's the stuff I was thinking about as a Disney-holic at this Epic Universe preview. Now let's talk about the park itself. So, for those who are still catching up on like what this new park is, again, it's not even open yet. It is brand new. It's a couple miles away from the Universal Orlando Resort as we previously knew it, which was City Walk and then Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. So that's two parks there. And then they have Volcano Bay, which is they call it a theme park. I call it a water park. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, Volcano Bay? How is it
Yeah,
not a water park?
I feel like this is just their corporate marketing is like trying to gaslight everyone into thinking
Gaslight, I love
they
it.
go, "Oh, we now have four theme parks." I'm like, "Girl, you have three and a really cool water park." Like Disney World doesn't have
That's funny.
six theme parks.
Yeah, do they call, I don't think they call it theme
No,
park,
nope,
right?
you're right. Yeah, they call it a water
But
park.
how do you think it stands up to it? Does it feel different?
Um, yeah. Oh, speaking of icebergs, the tip of the volcano. So we need to do a whole other segment one day on Volcano Bay, which I did visit for the first time this past weekend also. But I will say, yes, it is better than the two Disney water parks.
Okay,
But it's also way newer. So that's again, I think that's part of the theme right now of Epic Universe. This Disney has not had a chance to build a new theme park sandbox like from scratch since I think Animal
right.
Kingdom. And so the closest we've seen, I think, is Galaxy's Edge. And just remember the first time we rode Rise of the Resistance, it was like, what is happening? Like this is every
Yep.
Imagineer's like skill set put into one freaking attraction.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a win-win for everybody. Epic Universe is a win-win for even if you're just a Disney fan, if you're a theme park fan, a ride fan, live entertainment, like this is a really cool time for us to live.
Exciting.
So
Okay,
exciting.
okay.
Um, but yeah, that was me like this whole weekend is just wow, wow, wow. Oh my God. Just my mouth open the whole time. But yeah, let's keep talking about the theme park itself. So we get to Epic Universe now, a couple miles, I said, from the original Universal. They try to connect it through some like bus lanes, but you still have to break the bubble a little bit to get there. That also means you have different hotels now to choose from. So they have three now near Epic Universe, three brand new resorts, with Helios being the crown, the deluxe that's right there in the park. And uh Epic Universe itself has what they call portals. So I think typically we would call those lands, and Tokyo Disney Sea calls them, I actually think they call them ports because there's supposed to be different
Oh,
ports
right.
of calls in this island chain. We've seen it at Islands of Adventure. They call them islands. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. So here they call
Cute.
them portals, Portal. And then it's all connected by this massive hub, which is called Celestial Park. So it's kind of like a
Guardians of the Galaxy. Just kidding. Sorry.
Guardians of the Galaxy. It reminds me of a lot of like people who are posting about it describe it as the OG Walt Disney hub and spoke model, where
Okay.
you walk in, you got a circle, and then you go where you want, and it's a different experience. And I like that because it made me realize that the other two Universal parks are so messy. I hate walking around them. It's like you have to walk a lot because there's always
Yeah.
some like giant lagoon in the way. Like all the way around, and then you got to go through lands to get somewhere. So you got to go through like Dr. Seuss, Harry Potter to get to Jurassic Park. Um, which is very different. So this does feel like that hub and spoke model. So you got the four portals, and of course they do have some pads that are pretty well hidden. So I'm expecting a fifth portal soon. More on that later.
Wow.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
got four portals to talk about, and then we got the actual what they call Celestial Park, which is that hub. And the hub itself has stuff in it, just like we would see at like a main street and hub connection thing there. So Celestial Park, Super Mario World,
Hmm.
Dark Universe, Isle of Berk, and Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. Ooh, I did that all by memory. I was trying to not look at the
Wait, so
map
it's
yet.
four portals in one center
In one center, yeah.
celestial. Okay.
So Celestial Park, let's start there for a second. I think I would describe it as, do you remember Sega Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of Sega Dreamcast and then also think of Nintendo online. Whenever you're like put in a lobby with somebody online, Nintendo has a very branded feel when you're waiting in a lobby, no matter what game it is. If it's an
Okay.
actual Nintendo branded game like Mario Party or Animal Crossing, like it just feels a certain way. I don't know how to describe it. And Sega Dreamcast, and then any game lobby, like let's say you're in Fortnite or whatever, it feels like a game lobby, and not in a bad way at all. It's something I've never experienced before. It's like, okay, this is real life, like a virtual reality Oculus Quest room, and it's
Okay.
like sparkly and it has like its own theme that's like
Got like
original
music,
score.
probably.
A what?
There's like its own soundtrack or something
Yeah,
going
yeah, there's
on.
a soundtrack that's like familiar and soothing while you're like
Okay.
waiting. And then, you can look in any direction and you walk over to the portal that you want to enter to play. That's what it feels like, but kind of on a like a medium to grand scale because it's real life. And in there they have like a giant fountain and places to sit. They have a large carousel attraction. But yeah, just like a lot of walkways and water. It also reminds me of like some of the versions of Future World. Is that what it was called at Epcot? Future
Mm-hmm.
the front of it before a lot of the changes. Like you're just kind of like walking around, but there's like pretty lights on the ground.
Yeah.
and and you could tell like there's spaces for special events that maybe there's not one right now. So there's a lot of that. Um, and then there's some shopping, and then you'll find some pretty good restaurants out in Celestial Park, like Pizza Moon. I had lunch there today, one of my new favorite places. You'll have Starbucks, of course, you got to get your Starbucks, which is funny enough is so perfectly themed here. It's all about like twinkling stars, and they had like a really pretty celestial version of the siren logo, the Starbucks
Oh.
mermaid. So, Starbucks, when they do try to theme it with a park, they do a pretty good job. Um, so yeah, so that's Celestial Park. They have had other plans not yet announced, which is already getting me excited and making me feel like I really did experience a preview. Like this whole thing did feel like a dress rehearsal. And so I'm excited to actually go during grand opening and see what is still hiding behind the curtains. So Celestial Park feels empty, and I think we're going to hear a lot of people saying that who went to the previews. Like it feels kind of just like nothing's happening. But that reminds me of the same way we felt about some of the things at Epcot again at the front
Yeah.
when we didn't know
Yep.
the context yet of how the space was supposed to be used. So I would say let's hold on that until we know. But I think it has a lot of potential. However, it's very hot. There's no shade anywhere.
That's the first thing I noticed when I saw the pictures. I'm like, wait, you have to walk and all that. Where
Yeah. Yep.
that's why I'm gonna bring my parasol.
Bring your
Gotta bring it.
parasol. And I'm glad you asked me because then I started looking around and other guests, yes, had parasols. God bless them. And then some of I'm getting used to the universal lingo. TMs. It's so boring. Team members.
Oh, team members.
I
Yeah.
keep wanting to say CMs. But I will say they did call them by their characters' identities in the different portals. So in Isle of Berk, which is How to Train Your Dragon, it would say like Vikings only instead of team members only on the signs,
Cute.
stuff like that. Um, yeah, why don't we just wander over to Isle of Berk since we started talking about it?
All right.
Doot, 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 doot. Da 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 da. Okay, so the score of How to Train Your Dragon is really good, and I didn't realize how much I recognized it until, it's like playing all around you. I'm like, yeah, okay. I remember from the trailer of the live action movie, and I remember it from the only one movie that I watched, which was the first one. So I was like, okay, they've got a franchise here. It's working for me. Uh, but I'm gonna say this Isle of Berk was last on my list of excitement just because I don't know the franchise. I can
Yeah,
tell it has a fan base and it looks, gorgeous. I just haven't got around to it. And I think it's DreamWorks, so Universal in that way. And we didn't even go to it until like the last 40 minutes before park closing. And then I spent a full like few hour afternoon there today. And wow, very blown away. I would say the Isle of Berk, again, I'm keeping this stuff spoiler free. I think the Isle of Berk is going to be the one that becomes everybody's overall sort of like, oh wow, wasn't expecting that to be great. Some of the things that it reminds me of as a Disney holic is Cars Land. Cars Land doesn't even need to have movies associated with it. You get what's going on when you walk into Cars Land. You're like, okay, it's like Route
true.
66 theme. These cars are talking. They have a village and there's characters and they tell you the story. And you could just either ride the rides or look at the way things, are designed to find out what this town Radiator Springs is. And then if you get on the attractions, they tell you, what's going on. Um, and so it reminds me of that. I didn't feel like I didn't know what I was talking about or thinking about. I felt like I was just discovering this brand new fantasy place where dragons and Vikings mashed up and existing together. And it just made sense. It was really great. And I think they are really clever that they are releasing the live action movie this summer while this park's portal opens.
Right,
It's
yeah.
just it's
That makes
genius.
me itch for some new park IP, like some
Ooh,
original,
yeah.
because it shows like
You
that's a
could do
perfect
it.
example. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You could do it.
Aw.
And now they have there's almost like three layers there because if you didn't see the new movie, if you don't see the new movie and you don't know the animated, you could just go in this land and that would be your experience of that franchise. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, just like Haunted Mansion in the 1980s before anything was built or whatever. Any movies were made, right? Or Pirates or any of those.
Right. Yep.
And then you have the layer of people who are fans of the animated films, which now are like parents. It's weird.
I know. I feel like that movie came out 5 years ago, but it was probably like 20.
Yeah, there's like many sequels and stuff.
Crazy.
And then there's people who've seen all of them. So yeah, I think there's plenty to go around there to either create new fans or please existing fans. And the live character versions of them work, and they you use the animated versions of them to like explain things like the ride rules of how to ride the ride you're going to go on. You'll
Oh,
see
yeah,
the
right,
animated
right.
versions, so it all blends together perfectly. The walk around characters, everything. It works well.
Cute.
And uh the movement around the park or the land. I mean, the portal. So I'll say right there, each land feels like its own theme park. That's how crazy this place is. And, I like to only spend like 3, 4 hours these days in a theme park. So for me, I could spend one whole like trip in one portal and be satisfied, especially if that's like the franchise you like or the ambience you like. So the Dragon Land portal, whatever, is is the place I think that you could spend the most time wandering around in and not be bored for quite a while. It feels really
Okay.
expansive. It feels like maybe they put like their A+ player on that land. Like you work on this, and they maybe started on that 2018 and they finally got to it. Um there's a lot. I
They took
said
their Joe Rody and put him over there, right?
yes, exactly. Yep, they're top Imagineer, or probably someone they stole. I told you I went down those rabbit holes. There's people who went over there from Disney. Let's see. What else can I say? I'm trying to tiptoe around spoilers as I'm
Wait, let me ask you,
yeah.
if you were to say compare how large or how big it felt in that land compared to somewhere in Disney parks that we can all relate to? What would you say?
Oh, okay. I would say the How to Train Your Dragon land was as large as not quite as large as Galaxy's Edge. Maybe
Okay.
it would be like
Like Cars Land?
Radiator Springs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, knowing that, that including that whole rock structure, all of that.
Right.
Yeah, the whole
Okay.
thing. Uh and a lot of like things in the way so that you have to like go around it so it makes it feel bigger. There's a lot of that, but plenty of shops, restaurants. There's a live theatrical show. That's one of the attractions there. It's called the Untrainable Dragon.
Oh,
There is a coaster, roller coaster, and then there is I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of like it's something you'd probably see at like a Six Flags or a carnival style ride, but they I don't know how do you they put it on steroids. So they plussed it and then they dragon themed it. So there's that. And then a lot of walk around characters, plenty of meet and greets, and then a lot of things just popping out that I wasn't really expecting in this entire park at all in Epic Universe. I wasn't thinking about the lands itself. I was like more excited about some of these rides. But yeah, as you're walking around what's called the Isle of Berk, you'll hear things like, I'm like, what's that? And I'll walk over there and it's like a little cavern and there's a like dragon sleeping in it and it's
oh,
breathing and you can
cool.
see it breathing. So there's a lot of stuff like that. So it really feels alive. That land feels alive. It was just so thought out. I bought that the Vikings lived there. Like they seemed like they were there the whole day. Like I
I love it. It's giving
and
me opening day Galaxy's Edge, which
Yes. Oh,
quickly
very much
declined.
that. If anything, it was this portal that gave me that too. Yep. Because I guess the people of the Isle of Berk in this franchise, especially like, after the movie's challenges are over and
Uh-huh.
everyone's happy, they're just very welcoming, like, come visit the Isle of Berk or whatever. Welcome, Viking. Hey, Viking. Like I was called a Viking like 50 times this afternoon. And they'll like talk to you. I did speak to one Viking about Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was walking out of the restaurant, which was really good, and I walked out and I'm wearing my Guardians of the Galaxy man purse bag thing that's like a cassette tape. It looks like the mixtape
Oh,
with the
right.
headset. And she sought me and was like, "Oh, what is that cassette? Cassette?" And then I was like, "Oh, well, I got so excited, the improv. Oh, back in the land where I'm from, I was like, you can actually hear music coming out of this cassette tape, is what we call it. And it's part of a Walkman. And you could see her wheels turning. She was
That's
like,
so cute.
oh, she's like, what? I've never heard of that. We don't have those here. And we have musicians, but they're not very good. And they only send the worst ones here to Burke. And I was like, yeah.
Eh,
And she goes, is that what you mean? Like musicians and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, think of them as like really tiny and they're in here with instruments and you could hear them whenever you want. So she was like so excited about that. So yeah, there was a
cute.
lot of that going on. The night before I had stopped and talked to a Viking, who this is where it's interesting because I don't know the franchise very well. I'm pretty sure he's a big character.
Okay.
But I don't
Oh,
know who
from
he is.
the,
I think
yeah.
he's probably like their Hagrid. I don't know because he was like taking care of all the dragons outside. And so
Oh,
I went to go talk to him, and he was telling me all about his day and the dragons and that they're sleeping and blah blah blah. And I was telling him about myself and that I'm new and I'm exploring this area and that I'm just like really tired. This was like at 8:30 before they close at 9. And so he walked me over to the sleeping dragons, and they're all sleeping. You could see their stomachs moving and everything. And it's cute because they're like flying reptilian birds. And the way that these dragons in How to Train Your Dragon sleep are kind of like nesting. And so there's anything that looks like a nice cubby or with like a hole is where they like to sleep. So you don't even have to
oh,
see the whole thing. You just see like their tail hanging out, and it's
oh, they're like little cats.
like cats. Yeah, a lot of the pole things reminded me of like cat scratching
Oh,
poles.
yeah, cat trees.
So cute, and he was telling me about them, and he's like, "Yeah, and this one's Danielle." And I screamed, I was like, "Danielle?" Because we have a friend. I was like, "Oh, Danielle." And he's like, "And this other one's Jerry." And then I
Oh,
screamed really loud. I was like, "Jerry!" And then he told me to be quiet because it's sleeping. So they're really into it. And you could tell, this is why I was saying earlier, it feels like dress rehearsals. Like
yeah.
everyone is so excited to be there
Oh,
and
that's so
be
cute.
on stage finally. They've been training and rehearsing. They've already had, the team member rehearsals. Now, this is like the public in there, and we're all fans. We're all annual pass holders. So we're in there to cheer you on and be part of it. So yeah, you could feel that. Um, like you said, with Galaxy's Edge opening, there was a lot of just team member huddles, like three or four people who don't know what to do really, and they're like trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're like giggling and laughing, and they probably did all the training again together. Love that. Our operations HR brains. I'm like so excited about it. But yeah, so I would say How to Train Your Dragon, Portal, really great,
That sounded
so
amazing, and you
immersive.
said that was the last on your list.
I would say it was last on my list going into Epic Universe.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, as
okay.
someone who didn't really know, how
Right.
much I care about it, I didn't have an emotional connection to it, I should say.
Gotcha.
But speaking of that, I did see a fan on Reddit. She posted this really emotional thing. She said she was in line to meet and greet Toothless, who, wow, it was, to me, what I saw was Toothless the dragon. I didn't
Right.
see a puppet or an animatronic. I don't even know what it was. I don't think it's a puppet. I think it is an animatronic. But yeah, it has its own meet and greet, or they, them, he has his own meet and greet. And I did not wait in that line. It was very long. But this woman was describing on Reddit that she was halfway through the line, and so she was just in her head and she was by herself. And her dad, who passed away recently, her and him, is that how you say it? She and him used to watch those movies together, and they both loved the franchise. And she just broke
Aw.
down when she saw Toothless from afar. Like she was like, I couldn't. And she was like, she just wanted to express herself on Reddit, and was like, did this happen to anybody
Aw.
else? Did anybody else feel like super emotional? And on this subreddit, there's like, yeah, tons of these Dragons fans who have these emotional connections to that movie. And she was just like, I can't even imagine what my dad would think if he saw this. I'm
Oh, we got to
like,
see the real Toothless.
yeah.
Oh. Do you
They
know
have
that
that
I have a
memory
little
together.
connection with Toothless?
Oh, what's the
Kind of,
Toothless
sort of.
connection?
I used to have a bunch of Toothless, like, little toys and stuff because it reminded me of my cat Bagheera. Do you remember Bagheera?
Oh my goodness. Oh my
His,
God,
like,
you'll love it.
mannerisms and stuff were so similar, and he had the green eyes, and he's black, right? So it just totally reminded me of him. He's so cute.
Oh, that's a really good comparison because I watched the live show. Again, no spoilers, but I'm getting to learn about these dragons, and you get to meet like the baby ones. There's like a hatchery. Oh my God, it's the freaking cutest thing. And there some are very puppy-like and some are very kitty-like. And
Yep.
they all have different traits, and they all have different like powers and things like that. It actually made me want to be a fan of the movies. Like I'm like, okay, now I'm excited for the live action movie. I was like, oh yeah, dragons are cool. I forgot. Like dragons are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now we get to see some live action ones, and the dragon designs that I saw, like each one is so completely different looking. It's just gorgeous. I'd say that portal is beautiful. And yeah, it was just last on my list emotionally going in, but it's beautiful, probably at the top of my list, I would say, in terms
Mm,
of um just like a full immersive theme park on its own
theming.
thing. It could be its own thing. Like they could just keep
That's
expanding
awesome.
that and it would be its own theme park. But what I'm thinking I'm gonna be doing as I'm processing Epic Universe in my brain is I'm gonna like just label them with like awards. I think I'm inspired like by the Mario Kart races. Like, there's like the Toad class and this class. I think I don't think I can rank anything at this park right now. It's so overwhelming and it's
Yeah.
all just really well done in their own ways. But it's more like I'll give some feelings to each one. So I would
We'll
say
have to
for
visit back.
Isle of Berk, it gets some sort of award for like immersion and like fantasy. That's what it wins. It wins it.
Very cool.
Oh gosh, just that one portal
Right.
alone, and I barely touched on it. I didn't even tell you about like the ride vehicles or anything. Um, let's take some questions from the listener. So Jen, any questions, spoiler free, that you'd like me to poke in on a little bit more with the dragon realm before we go to the next portal?
I think you did a great job of explaining it. And since I also haven't looked into anything, I don't really have any more questions because I don't know what I'm missing. But I do want to know, did you get to go on all the attractions in this area?
Yes. So I did do all the attraction. Nope. No, no. Look, there's still more stuff to do. Wah, wah,
Whoa!
wah. After grand opening, see, plenty of stuff to do. So there's a ride that is a water. It's probably the most kids looking ride of all of the rides at the Epic Universe, which is maybe why I just psychologically didn't get on it. Like I didn't
Yeah.
prioritize it. But also once you're on a ride, sometimes it changes. I'm like, oh, I thought this was
Yeah,
gonna
it could be
be a kid's ride.
like, Splash Mountain and stuff like that is a lot of
Yeah,
stuff on the
yeah,
inside. That's really cool.
yeah. So I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and I'll explain some other rides around the park where I did and was blown away. But yeah, there's like a water ride. It's like you're standing on a raft and you're shooting water, I think, at other boats.
Oh, that's like so
I
up
know.
your alley. What the
I
heck?
know. I do like to shoot water. I
You've
think I
like
just
gone to Animal Kingdom just to do that.
I don't I like to do it I'm such a creep. I like to do it on my own as like a sniper on the
Not when other
on
people
the
get to
bridge.
spray you at the same
I don't
time.
want to be sprayed. I don't want people to know that I'm spraying them. This is like 4-on-4, like in your face battle. And I think it's actually similar ride technologies to something I've seen online at Legoland that they had a couple
Okay.
years ago that just opened where you're similar on a ship. And then you could move
Sounds
the
like we'll be doing
cannons,
a
the
lot
water
of that
cannons.
in June when it's hot as
Yeah,
hell.
I think it'd be very fun with people, with friends, a group, at least like four, so you could attack each other. And then on a very hot day when you want to get wet. Let's
Okay,
get soaking wet.
I'm on your team. Sorry, Nicole.
So, and I will tell you, the freaking hot sun here at the Isle of Burke is so hot that you will dry off very quickly. But they do have those dryers, just like they do at like Jurassic Park and those
How
other
funny.
water rides. They have the big dryers. Cute detail here is at the top of this dryer is a dragon blowing. Like
Oh,
that's
that's
his like
cute.
little job for the day to fill up that station. So because they all work together, these Vikings and dragons. See, I'm gonna go watch the movie now. Um, yeah, so I that was the only ride I didn't ride, but I did ride the two other ones. One is a coaster. It's called, I don't know what it's called, but I kept calling it a baby coaster. I'm like, hey, Nick, because Nick, a friend of the show, him and I went together on April 20 to that one, that preview day. So we're like, let's get on that coaster like for the last thing of the night and just something very mild because we're like tired and everything the else that I wanted to ride was too intense for Nick. Sorry about it. You don't even listen to our show anyways. But yeah, I was like, let's go on the big like Velocicoaster type ride. And he's like, no, I can't do it. So I was like, it's okay, we'll do this little baby coaster. So I thought it was gonna be like Barnstormer, and it's actually giving like Slinky Dog.
Slinky dog, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
which I think is
Okay.
fine, right? It's good. I prefer that. But when you're not expecting it,
Yeah.
you're like a little blown away, which I think the first time riding Slinky Dog felt that way to me
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
I'm like, what is this new modern kids coaster? It has like the and it speeds. So yeah, I rode that one, and then there's that like carnival dragon flying one that I mentioned. I rode that one today. That one could have easily been like one of the best. It was just a little too short. And I actually think they are using all of these preview days and testings to even figure that stuff out. I saw a lot of changing of the way trains were being loaded and a lot of things like that happening and like whispering. That was the fun part about
Oh.
being around here for preview. Like you could see the suits everywhere, like trying to
Yeah.
figure out what was going on and should we do it this way? And there was times where I would ride something maybe twice or visit it on 2 different days and it was already different. So
Interesting. So
very
it's like soft
fun,
opening.
very soft opening
Beta, very beta.
rehearsal. Uh Yeah, very cool. Let's see. Okay, so let's walk out of the portal of Isle of Work, and we're gonna go back to Celestial Park, and then we're going to doop 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 doop
Bum,
doop
bum,
doop
bum, ba,
doop
ba, da, bum,
doop
ba, 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 ba,
doop.
da, da.
So we're gonna go into Super Nintendo World. I say world because in some of the other Universal parks, it's just a land for Super Mario. This is Super Nintendo World. So within this portal is another portal, which is very fitting of Super Nintendo World.
Yeah,
Like I was saying
that
earlier,
works.
that feeling like you're in a lobby and you go to these different little through the warp holes and all that, the pipes. So you go to Super Nintendo World. Um, I'm not going to spend too much time on this portal today because about half of this portal already exists in Japan and in Hollywood. But I waited years and stayed away from spoilers so that I can experience it this past
Yes.
weekend. So for me, it was, well, it was amazing. Like I cried. I cried going in. It was, I
Aw.
think, probably the only time. And I wasn't even expecting it either.
It was your
I
Millennium Falcon of that.
yes, yeah. And it was the first portal I went to. So it was like I walked in from the hotel because you get an entrance from the hotel into Celestial Park, like almost an hour before park opening, and so I could see all the rope droppers waiting, including our friend Nick. I'm like, hey, I see you. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go run in to Super Nintendo World and we'll meet there. And so like that was I was like in logistics mode. And then I
Right.
go in through the warp hole and then up the warp escalator thing and ooh, and then it freaking feels like you just effing got dropped into a video game. It feels
Aw.
like you got, and it's loud. Like the music is loud. And when you're playing a Nintendo game, there's music nonstop. And so
Right.
it's like that. It's so overstimulating too in the best way possible. But I felt like I just got turned into an Wii characters. What are they called? Wii me's?
Oh my God.
Like
Weemies. No, they're
we
just like me's, aren't
me's,
they?
just me.
M-I-I.
Am
Yeah.
I felt like I got turned into a me. Like I don't know. We've seen it dozens of times in movies, like the new Jumanji franchise where they get dropped in the video game, or like Minecraft. But it
Yeah.
felt like that, and it was me. It was a me. I got to be the
It was
character.
me.
And
That's
that's
Mario.
kind of when I lost it. I was like, what is happening? And then you have all the just childhood memories just flooding in.
Aw.
Like you're just see they covered every possible version of Nintendo, whether you're an OG or you just started playing, like it's all there in this portal in some way, whether it's in the store or it's an Easter egg in the queue for Mario Kart,
Cute.
um, or it's just built into the immersive environment. I kept like squinting my eyes and looking around. I'm like, are those Pikmin? And like just on a grass hill somewhere by a question mark box are like three
What was
little
it?
Pikmin, Pikmin. They're like these cute little like colorful like red, yellow, green, blue. I think they first debuted in Nintendo Wii. So it's its own like mini franchise. And I think I've only played the first game and so I have no emotional attachment to those particular Pikmin characters. I just know who they are and think they're cute. And seeing
I do
them was
not
like,
know these
wow.
guys. I'm looking them up right now.
And like whoever put those there, like whoever worked on this, it these are Nintendo fans. And so, I did do some digging
Hilarious.
after, and this was one of the portals where they had the most corporate meddling from Nintendo in Japan. Yeah, the
Oh,
the actual corporate office. You gotta play everything by the rules. So yes, they were very heavily involved at, at maybe more than J.K. Rowling has been involved with Harry Potter, which was already well talked
intense.
about in
Peel
media.
Travers.
Yeah, yes, just like Mary Poppins and Walt. But was it worth it? Absolutely. This is Nintendo. Like this is full on Nintendo. This is not like somebody getting the license to do it. It's like the
Right.
actual thing. And yeah, I only explored maybe 75% of it. There's still so much more to left to the palate. For example, I can only eat so much in 2 days.
I know.
So a lot of the restaurants in these themed portals I didn't go into because I wasn't hungry. And so saving lots of stuff for when we go. And I took some peeks here and there. So I'm also still trying to avoid spoilers for some of these little things, these little details that you'll see in the restaurant. Like I took a peek into Toad's Cafe and I thought it was just going to be, quick service counter or whatever with like maybe red and white spotted cupcake. I don't know.
Right.
And then I peek inside. No, Toad and friends are behind the freaking kitchen counter making the food. Yes, it's probably like some version of like a three-layered screen and animatronic. I don't know because I didn't go in. But no, yeah, there's
What?
something in there happening. So I'm
And you're
still
like,
excited for
I
that.
can't look at that right now
Yeah,
because
all the time. I didn't want to wait
I'll
until I'm hungry.
return to that later.
So yeah, so there's lots of those little things here and there. Super Nintendo world you first enter and it is mainly Mario Land themed that first part. So again, but you do see these little things like the Pikmins hidden in there. But I think from what I've seen from the other regions, this part is pretty much the same. So you have the Mario Kart, which is Bowser Challenge. You have that attraction,
Hmm.
which this one what we've already know. It's what they call it, what is it, AR. So it's artificial, no, augmented reality. That's
Augmented
the thing
reality.
where they
Yep.
put it on top of a
Yes.
glass, right? Yeah, yeah. So you don't have to wear 3D goggles or anything like that. You just have to have the glass in front of your face. So there's that ride, and then there's a Yoshi ride, very cute. Like that's their like people mover type of thing, or Seuss, Dr. Seuss train. I'm trying to think of other comparisons. I couldn't help but think, oh man, something like this was supposed to be in Galaxy's Edge, huh?
You, whoops.
It was very much like
The
that. You're
Banthas.
riding the animal, in this case, Yoshi, all around the ups and downs, the different levels and layers of this Mario Land, and you're able to see the land in its full glory in different ways through Yoshi's eyes. Very cute. There's that one, and then
Cute.
there's another portal around the corner. What? I thought this was just Mario. No, Donkey Kong Country is here at Epic Universe. Donkey Kong Country. He has his own portal within the portals. It's like the green pipe giant one. You go through, bam, you're now in Donkey Kong Country. It's now his music. I've just been dropped into that game. I felt like a kid playing on Nintendo 64, I think is when it first came out. It just all the music, just it just all comes back to you and all the shapes and items and the way the bananas look on the tree and the wooden crates and the barrels, like and just the way like the grass sits. It's all just like the game. And then that's where they have the probably one of the most anticipated e-tickets of the entire theme park, which is the Donkey Kong Country Coaster mine race. I'm purposely just doing this off the top of my head, so it's pure Mike
I
TV
can't
Disney
remember the
Haunts.
name
I
of
don't
it
know what
either,
it's
but
called. Mine Cart Challenge. I don't know. But it's the mine cart ride. And when I was, let's see, when I was a young warthog, how old would I have been when Nintendo 64 came out? Like 10 or something? Um, the first thing any kid playing Donkey Kong Country, when you get to those minecart levels, first of all, they're very hard, but they were so spectacular at the time, like
oh
graphically.
yeah.
And you thought, imagine you would like turn to your sibling or friend, imagine if this was real. You could ride it. They should make a roller coaster. Well, here we are.
And they're like, and those exact same people
Exact same
that was
people.
you with your friend in the living room have now created them. Isn't that cool?
Yes, yes,
I love
full.
this era of fans
Yeah,
being now old enough to like get the shit done.
you're
It's
so
so
right.
good.
Yeah, you're seeing it in Star Wars, in Marvel, all
Hmm.
this stuff. Yes. So, oh God, I want to talk about this ride so much, but I can't because I have to keep it spoiler free. I will just touch on some of the things that we've already been done known about, like that they show and or at least have been like teasing, it's supposed to jump the track just like the mine carts do on the actual in the video game. Um you're gonna get to meet the Kong family and then, it's also thrilling because it's a mine cart gone crazy and you're getting shot out of barrels just like the video game and all of that happens like what it happens so just
Oh
go ride it
man.
at some point and experience it yourself. Spoiler free. I won't say anything more, but they did it. They figured out how to do it and they did it and they nailed it. Boom. Good job.
Nice. Very
But yeah,
nice.
Donkey Kong Country also had so much cool looking food and like drinks, like different, like all the characters like had their own like little shacks and types of themed smoothies. I don't even know. Again, overwhelmed. I need to go back there and eat. In fact, my plan is when we go together, there's going to be three of us. So there's so much to eat. I think we should order a lot of
Split
the big
everything.
stuff and split everything. Yes.
My
Yeah.
favorite thing on the planet to do.
This is one of those times where you really need to because there's so much to
Yeah,
try
you can't
and
eat a lot. So,
yeah.
yeah, especially I'm probably not going to be eating hardly anything with the weather.
Yeah, there's times where I'm like, I'm not hungry. I think I should eat, and then I would like get a kids meal somewhere. Uh,
Yeah.
which by the way was good. I had that in Isle of Berk. I had a kids meal there. It came in like a little Viking boat, which was cute.
Oh,
And then that's when I had the idea. I was like, oh man, we need to split this. I can't be eating here by myself.
yeah.
Um, all right, so back over to Donkey Kong Country, plenty to do there. Super Nintendo World also had the Mario Land, plenty to do there. I think I covered all of that.
So, what does Super Nintendo World have that Super Nintendo Land in Universal Hollywood not have? Is it just the
Oh,
Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong Country.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole other like add-on is not there.
So they have the
Um,
Yoshi in Hollywood
they
also?
do. They do
Okay, I
have the
don't think I've
Yoshi.
ever seen pictures of that, but I've tried to avoid spoilers.
That's
So,
good. That's good. It's my God. I can't like the it's Yoshi. It's Yoshi. And it's all the Yoshis. You know, there's like so
cute.
many. It was all coming
Okay.
back to me. I was like walking through the queue and I was seeing the different eggs. And I was like, oh, what does the blue one do? Which one makes him fly? Remember, you eat it, you put the egg in your Yoshi mouth, and then it'll like do different, or you get the different eggs and you hatch them, and then that one can fly, this one can breathe fire, this one can
Yeah.
swim. It was all coming back to me, but yeah, it's all there. Like all these type of Yoshis are there, and it's brought to life, dead and dying inside
Oh my God, I love
of
it.
happiness.
All right, so we're good with Mario Super Nintendo World. Where are we
Er,
going next?
Yes. I let me one more purchase merch shout out. A lot of great
Oh
merch
yeah. Oh my gosh.
all over Epic. But I did get a lot more merch at this last
Oh
trip. So I got a
man.
Bowser t-shirt, which is really
Bowser
cute.
t-shirt.
And
I
then
like
I
that big print. That looks really cool.
yeah, brum, brum, brum. And then
Wait, do
I
you have a hat too? Is that also, what is
yes,
that from?
we will traverse over to Paris, France in a
Oh,
moment, and I can tell you about
Paris,
this hat.
France.
What? What?
Now I have to,
So yeah, I got the Bowser
oh,
shirt,
okay.
and then I got the oh God, I thought to myself, I'm not gonna buy this Nintendo power-up band. It's only for use in one portal. Why would I do that? Cut
Because you
to
can.
cut to me in the lobby of the hotel, taking a break on day one, and the lady telling me that you can only get the Donkey Kong one here in Orlando right now.
Ah,
Uh, and she's like, we only had six
sucker.
left yesterday. Luckily, we got a shipment in. So I bought it. But look, you get the AP discount and whatever. It's cheaper than a Magic Band, I'll say that. And you also don't have to charge it. So that's nice. And it is very cute. So I got the Donkey Kong one, and that does allow you to interact with so much in Super Nintendo World in both of the lands in that portal. That I think I'm gonna spend a whole day there one day doing that, and I'll come back and report back on my findings.
Cute.
But yeah, that's really fun. So I bought that, and then I bought a month ago at the Epic Preview Center a little mini Bowser. He's so cute, and he's in the back of my Bronco with a seatbelt on, and he's just there,
Oh,
and I love him so much. And I went to pick up my car from the hotel, and the valet driver pulls up and he goes, "Oh, I saw your baby Bowser back there." And I was like, "Oh my God." I didn't, I was kind of caught off guard, as embarrassed. Not embarrassed, but you know what I mean? It's like he's not a
yeah, yeah.
character or anything. He's an employee at a hotel.
Right.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I keep him back there to
You're
keep my
like,
safe. I didn't know what to
no.
say. And he's like, dude, he's like, I have a baby Yoda in the back of my seat in a seatbelt too.
Aw.
And I was like, oh, Grogu? And he goes, no, it's Yoda. It's a baby version of Yoda. So
Wait,
cute. So they must have like a
that's
baby's
funny.
line at some point of plushies
That's funny.
of the OG characters. So cute. And I love that he corrected me, me
He's like,
trying to
no,
correct
don't try to
him.
correct me. Yep.
Wow. So, okay, this is another thing too about, right, being a Disney local is we're everywhere.
Yep.
In every nook and cranny and every occupation, they like Disney. So
Yep.
suck it.
Yep.
I love it. So anyways, where was I? Okay, we're gonna walk out of the
Okay.
Super Mario World portal. Boop.
Wait.
And
Bloop,
oh, I was making that noise in the Yoshi cube. I kept wanting to put my tongue on everything. Okay. Anyways,
Oh, what the? Okay.
we're back in
Don't
Celestial
do
Park.
that, by the way.
Celestial Park also reminds me of if Dreamfinder from Epcot, the man himself, if he said, "Hey, come with me to my metropolitan like city where I come from." Like I feel like this is where he
It's
would
like
be like
steampunky.
cycling around, yeah, in
Okay.
the air
I could see that.
with Figment. Yeah, it's got steampunk, it's got iridescent,
It's
very
got like
iridescent.
World's Fair,
World's Fair, very much. Yep.
right? Hmm.
Because there's all these sort of booths around, and they all actually sell really unique food. And nothing seems like it comes from any one country. Everything is just like mashup. It'll be like with an purple ube outer coating with a center of German pretzel. Well, I wouldn't say German, but something that you recognize as like a German flavor. So it's
Yeah.
really crazy. A lot of that. Okay, so we're gonna walk through Celestial Park, past a fountain, and here you go. Wow. Oh my God. This is really happening. Finally, Dark Universe. Oh, 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 oh. So I was kind of hesitant to even go there in the daytime. And luckily, on both
Fair.
days, their big e-ticket was down for like maybe the full first half of the day. And remember, this is previews, and that's something that Nick and I kept saying out loud to ourselves. And we'd be like, "We're just lucky to be here. We're happy to be here. Thanks, guys, for letting us be here." It's a preview. These are rehearsals, and there were signs everywhere. I would say this is a tech rehearsal. We're still working on things. This is a hot set, which is also cool because it works for Universal with their brand because they're a movie studio. So they're also like, "Hey, we're building this theme park for you, but hold on." But yeah, so I felt very patient throughout the whole thing and trying not to be judgmental, particularly with the rides being down. So there would be times where rides would be down for half a day, or you'd be standing on a walk on and you're about to be on, and then it's like 20 minutes. But for you and I, operations brain, I love that. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? There's another suit that just came up. And then we saw this guy like literally call this he was holding this bucket. I know I'm all over the place with this trip report. He was holding a bucket of what was called track lube, and
Oh
this
shit.
was on the high-speed coaster in Celestial Park, and they were wiping it. Like he would stick what looked like a broom in it, and then they were like painting the track with it in front of the coaster. And I'm like, what? This is weird. I'm like, what's wrong with the coaster? That doesn't sound safe. Like, is it not lubed up? I guess it's
Interesting. Was it?
like, are they trying to figure out like what is the right amount to add to their standard operating procedures for every morning?
That
Right?
that feels like that should have been already done because you
Yeah.
don't need people on it for that.
But there's some of those things where you just don't know until the actual human beings are on it. Because they must test it with those water body things. So those
Hmm.
but what are those little tiny last kinks that you just won't know until the human aspect comes into play. So yeah, I'm like looking around, but that did scare Nick because he was freaked out about that ride. And I was like, don't
Is that
worry.
the Velocicoaster type ride?
Yeah, yeah, Stardust Racers. So yeah, they ran about like 3 empty cycles, and then we were the next on.
Oh,
Da-dun-dun. But yeah,
he's
there
like,
was a
you
lot
guys
of
can go
that.
ahead.
That was happening throughout. Not even the thrill rides, too, just some of the rides it was happening. But yeah, so again, I felt special, and they made you all feel special for being able to be there, which is a nice way to give back to the APs or Magic Keys if Disneyland was doing something exclusive. Okay, Dark Universe. I know you've been really excited about this one, right?
Yeah, I just love the Universal Monsters. So, like, out of all of their IP, that's like the coolest one to me.
Yeah.
So, and like, you know me, I love a good, like, spooky haunted house type of atmosphere. So, that whole land looks like it's going to be up my alley.
Yeah. Yes. I think anyone who feels that way, you are going to be so tickled and so
Tickle.
satisfied
I love it.
and just in wonder and awe. It's so well done, this Dark Universe portal. And I found out that they're going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary, 100 years of Universal Monsters very soon. It's like 90 something years old right now. And so now they have a place to celebrate it. Who knows what's in store for that? But yeah, it's a very beloved. This is their like crown jewel at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
It made me feel like, oh, this is like their Mickey Minnie when Runaway Railway
Yeah.
opened.
It's so old too in comparison to
Yeah.
the rest of the
So
stuff,
many
right?
versions of them too, like that we've seen, interpretations of it. So yeah, Dark Universe, they did a really great job. Okay, we're keeping this spoiler free, but what we do know is that you go in and then there's like a village called Darkmoor, and we've talked about that before. And then there's a couple of attractions. So we have the attraction that's like what we would call their e-ticket, which is called Monsters Unchained. And that is, hold on, we'll go back to that in a second. And then there's Curse of the Werewolf, which is like it's a roller coaster, but it's a really interesting ride mechanism. It's like it's a spinning roller coaster. And then they also have a couple places to eat, and then there's shops. What am I missing? And there's also meet and greets as well over there. And wow, okay, so let's go back to Monsters Unchained. Wow.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna
Ah, I can't
say
even come up with the
I
words.
don't
That's
have
a good sign.
it what when you rode what was one of the rides you rode when we first went to Universal together as your first time? And I know there was like a couple that like
Gringotts.
blew you away.
Gringotts.
Escape from
Big
Gringotts.
time.
Okay. Yes, I would
I
compare it
remember
to
I was
Escape from
literally
Gringotts.
saying wow. I don't think I ever say wow out loud. Like I type it a lot, but I don't say that. And I was
Yeah.
just like, wow. Like, oh my God, I was blown away by that freaking ride.
Yeah, I would say that's it's on par with that in terms of you'll be wowed. And then adding on that it's such a cool concept and it's scary. I would even say from Green even what's the other one? Forbidden Journey. They're both scary, the Harry Potter rides, now that I'm thinking about it. But this one is really scary. I rode it for a second time today, and there was a little kid and his dad with me. We were put into a group of four. You can figure that on your own why, but we were put in a group of four. And I was like, this kid is so brave. I already knew what was going to happen. And he was so happy afterwards. Like, he was so
Oh, that's
excited. He loved
cute.
it. But I screamed like bloody murder a handful of times. The animatronics, like what is happening, is so good. Like these things were there in my eyes. They were there. I don't know what kind of tomfoolery, sorcery that these new Imagineers or whatever we're calling them now, since they play for both sides. What kind of technology they're using. It's all mixed together. So I don't know what I'm looking at. Is that projection on something that's an actual physical animatronic? Is it a screen? What is going on? And there's no time for you to think about it because it's happening so fast. So there's a lot of that going on. But then, with these rides, you're actually getting moved. So there's also the sensation of going up and down in different directions. So yeah, that ride is something else. And I do think when I finally get to coming up with these awards for the different attractions, and I know I don't want to rank them, I do think people's favorite is going to be
Monsters
Monsters
Unchained.
Unchained. Yeah. Imagine if they got Universal Halloween Horror Nights and said, "Let's like make this a ride."
Oh my gosh, stop.
Yeah. And I also think, again, remember 100th anniversary coming up. I think we've only seen iceberg. Remember, I said we're going to see a lot of icebergs on this podcast. We're going to hear a
Yeah.
lot of. This is just the tip of the iceberg at that Dark Universe portal.
Oh,
I do know
wow.
for a fact there's an expansion pad for. I think they were already going to do a creature from the Black Lagoon water dark ride, but they're saving it
Nice.
because they just like stopped
Stop.
talking about it. So yeah, so
Oh
that
my
is going to
gosh.
be there. Something like that, I'm sure will expand. Um, who knows how they'll connect it with Horror Nights at some point. And then something that I know you would like about this land is the what do we call those people street perform the entertainment that's like part of the land.
I mean, I just call them NPCs, but
The non-playable character. Streetmosphere. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Streetmosphere. I've never heard that
Streetmosphere.
before. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of those, like the ones that walk around like Buena Vista Street right on in DCA. So there's a lot here, and I wasn't expecting that in this land for whatever reason. But these are like classically trained musicians that got to this is their job. Like, how fun is that? There's like these violinists playing, and they're in the scorching sun with these like red ball gowns.
Oh my God, I can't.
But they look like they're part of the town, and they're like there. They have meet and greets, so there's characters walking around. If you look close enough, you might be able to see the Invisible Man. That.
Funny.
Sorry, there's something in my eye if you're watching on YouTube. I think my eyes got sunburned also from being out in these theme parks like a fool
That Florida
midday.
sunshine.
That Florida
Get used to
sunshine,
it, local.
right? So yeah, so Dark Universe, very well done. I think it's just we're only seeing the beginning of it, and I definitely want to go back there to eat and drink all the
Okay.
things.
Okay.
They have like a place called Das Steakhouse, like, and so you think it's a steakhouse where you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Meat, you're gonna eat meat because scary monsters, and it's like, nope, it's steakhouse, like Stake, steak to the
Oh.
heart, and everything's kebabbed with a big old steak.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
all the
cool.
entrees,
That's
yeah,
super
so
cool.
cool. There's like
That's
a
so
a
catchy.
meta pun on a pun on a pun.
Yeah.
So I want to go in there, and even that restaurant probably I imagine looks really cool inside. I didn't even go in, so I'm saving again a lot of stuff. This is just a preview, ice tip of the iceberg. But yeah, they had violin players walking around. They had some of the monsters walking around. Again, no spoilers. You should find them on your own. And then similar to what I was talking about with Isla Burke, there's a lot of just like immersive uh decoration around. So you can go and look and there's like steam coming out of every tombstone. And if you look closely, like you'll find out more about who's
Ooh, I
buried
love it.
there. There's a lot
I
of
need to spend like a week here. What am I gonna
yeah.
do?
There's a lot of like think of like old like London looking sewer grates that if you go up to you'll like hear sounds. Woo! There's like
I
something
love
back
it.
there. Or if you don't want to walk down those stairs, it leads somewhere, but it's blocked off, but you lead somewhere and you think someone's gonna come creeping up and get you. So pretty cool. And then of course we did go back there at night. Wow, just amazing. Um the werewolf coaster. I do think the werewolf coaster I didn't know what to expect, so I won't say much about it. Um, yeah,
Underwhelmed nonetheless.
just
I
I'll
could
leave it at that.
say.
I will say well, I wouldn't be underwhelmed, but I don't it didn't do anything for me. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Yeah. But there's something really funny. I'm trying to figure out how to tell you that without spoilers, and I think I can. So
Okay.
there is a animatronic like moment they've been hyping for like the last 2 years.
Yes.
I think it was like the wolf man grabbing you or something like that,
Right.
werewolf. And so I was so excited for this.
Yeah.
Like I've been waiting for it. Like, what is this new tech? We love that, like this new Yeti thing, technology. And so I'm on this roller coaster, and then there is a werewolf there at one point, of course. It's Curse of the Werewolf roller coaster. And I was like, oh man, it's already in Disco Yeti mode. It's already in
Oh,
theme mode. And
shoot.
it's not even opened yet. And you have some, for whatever reason, I won't say spoiler free, you actually pass it multiple times. And I was like, maybe it's gonna work this time. No. And so Nick and I were just like, man, womp womp womp. So that even added more dampness to it. The queue, though, I will say the queue and the story of that ride, phenomenal. The storytelling around this whole park and every portal is phenomenal.
Do they
And you,
actually have a strobe light on it?
I will just pause there, and because I don't want to give you
Okay,
any
okay,
more
okay, okay.
spoilers about what it is. But come to find out,
It's a screen. Ah,
not even that. Wait,
spoilers. No
no
spoilers.
spoilers. Come to find out, I let's just put it this way. I was looking in the wrong place, thinking I knew everything about what's going to happen in this place. The thing is it real, it exists, it does what the Yeti was supposed to do. It's just not there. It's somewhere else, and it fucking freaked the freak out of me. It's just so scary. So I don't want to say any more so that you'll get scared.
Okay.
But it's there. So you'll find it when it's ready to be found.
Oh God. Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, so what I saw in that roller coaster was something else, and I think it was just designed to be whatever B mode it was. Fine.
Oh,
So
so the womp womp was actually a perma womp womp? Like it's
yeah, like
not an
that's just
accident?
what it is for that coaster. So
Gotcha.
okay. So if anything, that's like there's no flat rides at in this portal, so that would be like the equivalent of it. It's just like a fun ride. But yeah, the queue is nice in the story. It's like, old um freak show
Okay.
festival that came to town, and then there's a curse.
Cute.
So it's,
Yep. I love that aesthetic.
good
Like all
decor.
those
Yeah.
things. Yep.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, so okay, Dark Universe. Woo, let's leave Dark Universe.
Okay.
We have one more portal to stop into, and that is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. Dun, 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 dun.
Ministry of Magic.
So the interesting thing here is usually, at least in for our time of life, like Harry Potter has been the things that keep opening that are
Mm-hmm.
new to us, that
Yeah.
are like, "Ugh."
Very true.
And it just like makes like the whole world knows about it. And
Mm-hmm.
I found it odd that um I don't know, it was like just outshined by the other portals. Like it was, I didn't need to run to it. Like if, for example, if they just added this to like Islands of Adventure, it'd be the biggest deal in the whole entire world.
Right, right,
We would go book a whole trip just to go see that one thing.
right.
So I think that's a good thing, right? I think there's something as such high quality as a new Potter realm that the other lands are so good that it's outshining the something that's
So what is
already a
this?
diamond.
Because we have Hogwarts and
Mhm.
then we have Diagon Alley. What is this now?
So this takes place in the streets of Paris in the
Oh, that's right. You said
yes, in
Paris.
the older
Okay.
times of when Newt Scamander,
Oh, Fantastic Beasts era?
Fantastic Beast era. So when Dumbledore was
Ah,
a young, handsome Jude Law.
when he was a young, something young
Warthog.
warthog,
That's twice we did
warthog.
that on this episode. Uh, so yeah, so this is what I loved about walking through that portal was you're immediately it has the same Harry Potter style entrance where even though you have to go through a portal first, like the other areas of this theme park, you still have to go through one other hurdle, which is you have to first be in the Muggle world, and then you get the privilege of seeing what's behind the
Mm-hmm.
scenes, where if you're invited to see the magic side. So you go first, and it's the like Paris Metro is the real facade after the portal. And so now you're in France, and it was giving wow, it was so beautiful. It was giving Las Vegas, Paris resort. It was giving Epcot, France. Very well done. And if there was a world where Disney and J.K. Rowling ended up keeping the contract to build the theme park together, I mean, Epcot fans won't love this, but this probably would have gone where Ratatouille is. Like, I could see them changing that whole France Epcot pavilion. easily into this. Like that's what it looks like. So think of
Okay.
that. Now add a layer of the of like bouginess and that era of the ding 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 of the Paris, France, like the Moulin Rouge and all that. Oh, it's just so great. It's like a nice way to time travel, a nice place to visit. And it just feels so real. Like I was walking by the restaurants and I felt like I was walking in like New York City, like Upper East Side where all the cafes are out and the chairs are out there.
I feel
Like
like
it looks like that.
we're getting close to Westworld at this point, right?
It is. Yeah. No, you're when you
With all
said
these
earlier
like atmosphere, what did you call
the
it?
street atmosphere, the
Streetmosphere.
NPCs.
Like, and the immersiveness and theming, it's getting close.
There is a lot of that. I'm gonna say one non-PC thing because you brought this up. Let's teleport back to Dark Universe for a second.
Oh,
And
shoot.
in the
I'm so
in
nervous.
the I just kept thinking, wow, they casted a lot of these people. They came from Dark Universe.
Oh, shit.
And look, it is a movie studio that is behind Universal, so they are casting people, right? And they call them auditions. So somebody was making decisions of who went where. And
Wow.
I was like, these are animatronic. These people, like, how does this guy have an extra large head? And how is he the
Well,
like
speaking of who and where, you went there. So thanks for that.
and you know, I think everybody wins. Like he found his niche and it's just perfect. And I just thought, where did they find these people? These are, you're right. This is Westworld. Like they built this person. This is an
They
android.
were real Frankenstein monsters.
And like sometimes they would glitch. So I was getting my pizza brought to the table at this pizza place and the guy brought two he brought my pizza and two side plates and I'm like rude. I was like, it's just one of me and sorry about it.
You're like, do I have the invisible man
Right?
with me?
And it just seemed so oh, I should have asked that. It was just so automated to him in the best way. I mean this is the best way to people. Like these were dress rehearsals. They knew exactly what they're supposed to do. Every operating procedure was being tested right now. But the procedure was probably default. If you don't know, bring two plates. So he comes like perfectly brings me the two plates, like smiles. It doesn't notice that I didn't need like there was no awareness of that. So it was like Westworld. Like these are kind of like robots. And then even weirder, like within 5 minutes, I guess the way I had like my napkin set down, I had only had one slice of this big ass pizza. He comes back. He's like, "May I take that from you?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No, I haven't been." I'm still working on it. Like, not
What if
even
they
that
are
kind.
robots? You're
It-
gonna find that out now.
right. And this is seriously all compliments. Like, that's how good they are. Is I'm like, are we in a Westworld? You're so right. Okay, back to freaking Paris, France. Ministry of Magic, Wizarding World. So yeah, you're there, and with the other two Harry Potter lands that you and I have experienced together, there's so many like corners and nooks and crannies and side alleys. And you walk into this one and you might not think that's there, but they are there. They're just harder to find because it looks more real, because it looks more like Epcot or France. You don't look like you're in Diagon Alley. It looks more real, like real world. If you look close, and in the right places, you start to notice all the magic. And
Ooh,
that
okay.
made it pretty cool. And it was worth like my second solo day, which I had today to just go walk around. And unfortunately, today the big e-ticket was down. So I was like waiting in that land for a while, but I had plenty to look at. It was really great. And okay, so I mentioned the e-ticket. What is in Ministry of Magic portal? So you have the big e-ticket, which is we're gonna call it Defense of the Ministry of Magic. I don't know. So, but it takes place in not the Newt Scamander timeline. It takes place in the classic Harry Potter timeline that we know from the other lands,
Okay.
because you go on trial for Dolores Umbridge. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh,
So that's the
she's
whole
back.
story, and that's the stuff they've been like hyping up. And wow, this one.
Is that Helena Bonham Carter again?
No, she's the other
Dolores?
one. She's the I can't think of her name right now.
I can't remember. It's okay.
Yeah,
Carry on.
yeah. She's this one is the professor in all pink with all the cats, and she's really
Oh,
mean.
yes, yes. Okay. Can't forget
She's really
her.
mean, but pretends to be really nice.
Yes. Yep.
And yeah, and she's like tortures Harry Potter. So this is like her trial, and that's where this thing goes. And then the like again, these are not spoilers. Like this is all there for you to find out. It's so you go into Paris and then you can see that there's a flu network there. Remember, that's where you go through like the fireplace and you get to teleport. And so that's how you end up. And then there's time turners that are involved in the big portal. When you walk through, you see a giant time turner. So they
Ah.
have ways to explain away. Well, like why are we in Paris, but then suddenly we're in a different timeline and then now in London. Like that's all explained. You'll find out. I won't go into spoilers, but I will say this e-ticket is Rise of the Resistance level um wonder and awe. I don't want to
Ooh.
overhype it and say, I mean, Rise of the Resistance is one of the best things ever created. And especially in its length of time and like how much you spend in each phase of Rise of the Resistance, Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
This isn't that, but it's at that level of like what mechanism is this? Like what am I on a ride? Like what's
Oh,
going
now we're
on?
doing this, and
Yeah.
what's going on here? And
Yep. Like is this the pre-show or not? Like what's going on?
I
So there's a
love
lot of
it.
that. And then just like the other two Harry Potter e-tickets, the queue is just magnificent. Like you could just have that as a museum walkthrough, and I'd be happy and satisfied. So yeah, there are a lot of those moments here and what they build. Like this looks like you walked into the movie. Like what is happening? So that is the Biggie ticket, and then they have this beautiful show, theatrical live show there too, and that one is in the Paris area, so that takes place in the Newt Scamander. So if you are a fan of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, you will love this portal. If you're a fan of just the old Harry Potter, you will love this portal. There's something for everyone. Very clever how they figured that out. But this show, really, really cool. It's giving Moulin Rouge. It's giving Las Vegas burlesque. It's giving Cirque du Soleil. And I wasn't expecting any of that from Harry Potter because I didn't know,
Right, right.
like
I was
Paris,
just
France,
trying
all
to
this
put
stuff.
that together in my head. I'm like, huh.
Yeah. So think about that. Think about some of the like ambiance of that era, really cool things. And then you throw in all the Harry Potter lore on top of it, and you get this really gorgeous, amazing, beautiful show.
Yeah, I can see those meshing well together though. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have that. And then of course it's still the Wizarding World. So you have tons of really cool sweet shops and you have the butterbeer places and another place to buy
Oh yeah, I
wands.
need to grab
You
my
get all
wand when
that.
I go back home.
Ooh, I can't find mine. It's gone.
Shoot.
I think somebody threw it away.
Oh no.
But anyways, they have a new one, like Magic Bands, they have
Mm-hmm.
2.0. They have a new wand, so I need to get that at some point. But yeah, there's a lot of interactive wand things all around the area, the land. There is streetmosphere, non-playable characters that pop out here and there. I was walking through the wand shop, and then all of a sudden, this I guess I would call her like a psychic, you know, maybe like the psychic ball type of psychics with a
Fortune
big like
tellers, like
turban, the beautiful turban on her head. Yeah, fortune teller, that's the word I couldn't think of it. Like she was going around and like being nosy about which ones you were looking at and wants to tell you more about it and everything. And it's different. Some of the ones they have and some of the ways that they're displayed are going to be different than what you see at the other two lands. So they really found a way to differentiate this portal from the other Harry Potter lands in the other two parks. So very cool. And then of course you have the score playing everywhere at all times. I'm trying to figure out if there's another ride there. No, I think it's just those two things, right? Yeah. And the land, the whole park was not too crowded because it is preview, but I did find it weird to be in a Harry Potter land empty. It was not empty, but just stragglers walking around.
that's funny. Maybe it's now not the biggest pull here.
It's not the biggest pool. And then
Which is
especially you need
crazy.
virtual queue to get on that e-ticket. So you have no business there if you didn't get it,
Yeah, yeah, you know when you need to go.
right? The other
Yep.
your other options are a show, which for some people that's a hard pull, and then eating and shopping. So yeah, very interesting. Trying to figure out how they're going to do that. But yeah, that is the only ride as of now during this preview, April 2021, is on a virtual queue system. So that does require a 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and 6 p.m. Have your face glued to the phone and try to get that VQ. I
Mm,
think it's going to be easy because they have three distributions and it's only one per day. So if you're willing to stick around till the end of the park, you'll probably get that last group. That's what happened
okay.
to us the first time. And then today I did get an early group, but the ride closed down for the rest of the day. So they gave me an express pass. I got to use it on Monsters Unleashed, which all worked out.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
and that's one of those things too. I'm like, I expect some of these rides to be down, to be delayed. And yeah, so
Oh, where are we
we're
going
gonna
now?
leave the Wizarding World of Harry Potter portal. And that's gonna be pretty much it with this tip of the icebergs. You could see there's so much more to dive into
I love that
in
you
every
thought
way
this would take
possible.
36 minutes and it's now at almost an hour and 36 minutes. I told you. I love it though. It's just, I wanted to hear all of that, and you haven't
Yeah.
even told us the spoilers.
Yeah,
This is
that
only
was
like
just
the atmosphere, really.
Yep. Wow. 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 Wow.
Lots to
Wow.
talk
Wow.
about.
Wow. I should say that Ministry Magic ride is the one where I was doing what you were describing too.
Oh,
I
the
was going,
wows.
wow, wow. I just kept like pointing at everything and like shouting that like as if the people next
Wow.
to me didn't know
Wow.
weren't looking at it already.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see? Did you make sure to catch this?
And then if you see like a character or something you like or an Easter egg, I just start screaming. I'm just like, what is happening? So yeah, this is a crazy time to be a fan of anything, let alone a theme park fan, or if you're a fan of any of these particular franchises, or you're a fan of thrill rides, which is, I guess, what I'll leave you on is the one and only ride in, I lied, the one of two rides in Celestial Park. I
Oh, I didn't
really,
realize there's any rides in Celestial
yeah,
Park.
I can't leave you without this because this is important. So.
Wait, you have to tell us about your hat too. Where's that from?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm wearing this hat. It's going to be my new favorite cap.
Yes, explain it for our listeners. Oh, I can't see. You just disappeared.
And on the back of it, it says Place Cachet. Pardon my French, literally. I don't know if that's how I pronounce it.
Place
But
caché.
this is a hat that is sold in one of the shops as if it was a souvenir hat for the magical backside of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. Like that's
Oh,
how like
okay.
meta it is. And I believe this is a phoenix symbol, which is really cool because it plays a big part in one of the things that you see in the land in one of the sculptures,
Mm-mm.
and maybe someplace else. But yeah, so it's like it looks almost like nautical or something.
I like it because it doesn't look like it's one of those subtle things
I
at the end,
love
you
it.
know? Like you don't
Yeah,
know that that's
so
Harry Potter right off.
discreet. They're like, ooh, true fans. Even I wouldn't know actually.
Yeah,
It's kind of yeah.
I would have never guessed.
Okay, so yes, I got that from the Harry Potter place. Celestial
Okay,
Park.
Celestial Park.
Celestial Park. Okay, so there's two rides. One is a carousel, and
Okay.
I
Is
think
that in
this
the
is
glass dome?
it's like yeah, it looks like a glass dome. It's actually not.
Oh.
It's like a Jules Verne style like tent.
Oh, okay. Back to our
Very like new
steampunk.
Tomorrowland 2.0 Paris,
Yeah,
France. Right?
yep.
Yeah.
Paris
Space
again, yep.
Mountain again. Um, and so I've been excited about this one. Most people haven't have been talking about it. And it's like 10-minute wait most of the day. Most of the rides were short waits because it's a preview. But yeah, this one is going to be, I know it, a sleeper hit. This is going to be my new Storybook Land canal boats.
Okay.
It's so cute and magical. I don't even know how to describe it other than let's say that our friend, what's our friend who works in Tomorrowland at the at
Sunny
Cosmic
Eclipse.
Rays. Yeah. If Sunny Eclipse invited me back to one of his favorite planets, like where he wants to take me out like on a romantic friendship, whatever, romantic outing. Maybe he likes me, okay? And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you to like their version of like a boardwalk attraction." And then he brings me to Celestial Park. I had this all in my mind, literally, when I was waiting to write it a second time today. Thank you. I was thinking about it, and he's gonna take me there, and he's going to show me like, and I'm gonna be, oh, this is like what we have. It's called a carousel, and this is what you guys have. It's just this weird, odd, celestial, cosmic thing. It's different, like it's called Constellation Carousel. So the all the things that you ride are like that. Like think of that like Taurus and like a lion but there's also like peacocks. And it's just so pretty. It's just so beautiful. And this one, do I need to be can I tell spoilers on this one?
Sure, we'll give you one. If any of
Right?
them, it'd probably be this one.
Yeah, and if anything it'll get people to go ride it because they might just not.
Yeah, I'd probably skip a carousel. If I only have one day in Epic Universe, I would for sure skip it.
Right. And even in any theme park, pretty much. So I don't think I've even gone on Jesse's Critter Carousel at Pixar Pier ever at DCA. I don't think. Um, okay, so this carousel is has a holds a place in my heart. It is why am I at a loss? It has taken the words out of me.
Are you gonna cry? What's
I
going
I
on?
think I am. I don't know why what it does to me. So imagine you're on, okay, how about this? Choose an animal that you'd like to ride, and I'll tell you if it exists and we'll go on it. Even if it's a fantasy
Giraffe.
animal. Okay. Let's pretend there's a giraffe on this. There isn't, but let's say there's like
Toothless.
this a what?
Toothless.
So let's
Dragon.
say you're on like this beautiful um peacock and you're
Okay.
riding it. And it has the classic carousel pole you can hold on
Okay.
to, and it has like a little lamp on it, which is cute, a lighted lamp. And so you're on it, you're straddling it, and then it starts to go, but it's not going just around and around. It's kind of like traveling around the circle, left and right, backwards, spinning around, crossing over, passing other people on their animals.
What? I can't even
And
understand
then
that.
I know.
It's giving me Mary Poppins, like when
Yes.
they take off of the merry-go-round.
So my theory, this is literally a fan theory, but I have been telling people yesterday in the park that this is real. I was giving fake stories out. I said, "Did you know that this ride technology was originally supposed to be for the Mary Popkin Pop? I can't even say
Oh
it.
my
The
gosh,
Mary Poppins
Mike.
Epcot ride." I was even telling Nick this. He doesn't even know it's not true, and he doesn't
But
listen,
he
so that's what
doesn't
you
listen
get.
to the podcast, so it doesn't matter.
This should have been because the theme here is not strong. It's part of Celestial Park, so it's not from an IP or nothing. And it's just like, again, I said it's odd. It's like a boardwalk thing ride that what's his face took me to. But this
Sunny
could have been
Eclipse.
perfect in in a Mary Poppins area. Uh, it would just be chef's kiss if it was. So, the
Aw.
ride technology now exists. I won't hate it if they copy it. Fine. But yeah, you're going all around. You're not tethered to the ceiling and floor like you think you'd be. And then the poles lift up off the ground. Normally you go up and down, right? While it's
Yeah,
moving round and round.
it's like a yeah, rotation.
This one, I got scared for a second, even because if it's a kid's ride, I don't know. You go 6 feet up at least at some point. Like it doesn't stop going up.
What?
I imagine like when you're seeing something
Are
and
you
it's
strapped in?
barely, you have like a seatbelt, yeah, a
What
regular
the?
carousel seatbelt. And this one, I'm surprised. Like they even let you have your phone out and everything. They're pretty strict on all the other rides. But yeah, because I'm just like, what is going on? And it's so just I don't want to use the word disturbing. It's just so
Disorienting.
Disorienting. Yeah. I can only think of bad words like off-putting. It's disorienting, but it doesn't make you sick at all. And the music is so odd. It's like, am I in a nightclub or
Or a
am I
nightmare.
no, am I in a nightclub or like a music box, ballerina music?
Okay.
And it's a little bit of both. And then when you're about to go on and you're watching people on it, you're seeing that in their faces. So you're like, what?
They're like, what's happening?
And you're
That's
like
pretty
looking at each
funny.
other like, wait, we like this, right? But yeah, everyone seems to like it. It's just weird. Now, I want to go back on it 100 more times. I also want to ride it at night. I can already tell it's much prettier at night, like it's supposed to be like
Hmm.
sparkling. Uh, but yeah, I don't really know how else to describe that. So in a way, it's spoiler free because you just have to ride it to get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I still have no idea what's going on, so that didn't prove to be a spoiler for me.
It's odd. And then the big e-ticket for Celestial Park is the Stardust Racers, which again, very light on theming. It's just the same as the rest of this hub. But holy shit.
This is the
Okay,
big one,
this is the
right? The
big
big
one. The only thing you
Velocicoaster-ish.
compare it to probably is Velocicoaster. It's the same designer, the German designer that created this one, except now you have two tracks and they're racing.
Oh
And
yeah, I've seen
yeah,
that
they race each other.
without.
The nice part
Yeah.
about that is this was like consistently maybe the most I saw was 20 minutes. It was usually like 10 minutes wait.
Wow.
And every time we went on it, or me, I went on twice, was a walk on. The first walk on, we did end up, they had to stop and put the lube on the tracks, but technically it was a walk on because we went straight to the door, double doors to go into the coaster. Um, but it is so intense. Wow. It's one of those ones where after you're out of breath and you need a cigarette and you need to lay down
Ah!
and you need
Oh
like a
my
cold
gosh.
shower.
Are you like a rag doll like you are on Velocicoaster?
Um, Not in a ragdoll that I think sometimes people think like not Matterhorn ragdoll where it's painful, but it is a ragdoll where you're barely strapped in. It's just a lap bar.
That's how Velasco, just
Yeah,
the waist only, and you're
and
just like
you feel like you're
flailing
just gonna
around.
be thrown out at any
Yeah.
given note.
Oh shoot, I
And
don't know if I'm gonna like it.
it is smooth as butter, and it has music. It has a soundtrack. The only thing I will say is I was like the big debate now with the fans of like Velocicoaster is like which one's better, and a lot of people are saying cos I was gonna say Cosmic Stardust. What the fuck is this called? Stardust Racers out of the bag. Stardust Racers um is more intense, and I would say technically better than Velocicoaster. I still like Velocicoaster more because it's themed
Hmm.
and I don't like know where I'm going. There's like, are they going to throw me into the rock or to the raptor cage or the mouth of that one? Um, and the view of Islands of Adventure from the top of Velocicoaster is unmatched. It's just like wow. It's like that's what Islands of Adventure is. Like that's how they want you to see it. You see the big lagoon and all the different ports. Whereas this one you see kind of backstage, you see a parking lot.
Hmm.
It's giving like a really good Six Flags ride.
Okay. Okay. But they have really good rides.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they have good
thrills.
rides. It's smooth.
Thrills.
It's
Yeah.
like it's the newest version of whatever this
It's amusement
coaster
park
amusement park. Yeah,
ride instead of theme
and
park
and
ride.
if
Yep.
anything, that Celestial Park does give boardwalk space boardwalk or something. So maybe yeah.
Okay. That's cute.
Oh, I'm putting it together now that I'm thinking about the queue for that ride does feel a lot like the stuff that used to be at Paradise Pier. It's a lot like that. Like this like
Um,
weird like smiling suns and stars and just weird things like that. Pizza Moon isn't it one of the restaurants? So yeah, it's very much like a boardwalk. Um, so fine, I would say if someone tried to make that ride fit, I guess that's how it does. But it is kind of out of the way, so it doesn't block any of the other portals. It is so high though that it breaks line of sight in a couple places when you're in the dragon place, but it didn't bother me because it's such a colorful land to begin with. But yeah, that ride is so good. Velocicoaster, I could go back to back. This I couldn't. I wanted to so much, but I just
You
couldn't.
needed a
My
break.
my body's said, my mind's telling me
My
no. Or it's the other way
body,
around.
my body's telling me
Yeah.
yes.
This time my mind said yes, my body said no. In fact, I really, really want to ride it at night because that's what it's like designed for, to look like more for the people looking at it. It looks like shooting
That
stars in the
park needs
night.
to stay open later. I keep thinking
Yeah.
about this whole time you're talking, because now I'm going even further into the summertime
Yeah.
where nights
More
are,
sun.
yeah. And so I want to see all this stuff at nighttime,
Yeah.
man.
I would like this park to be 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and I'd be there.
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd
I
be
do feel like
just
it
you
is
and me there
designed.
walking on all the
Yes.
rides.
And it is very much like think of places like Carl's Jr. Cars Land. Think of Cars Land, think of Pandora. There's certain places where it's almost different at nighttime that you have to go back at night or take your
Yeah.
break and come
Yeah.
back. Because definitely is so much, it's just sparkling at night. Like Las Vegas. It's
Oh,
like Las Vegas Strip at night. 100%, especially if you're looking from your hotel room.
dang.
Um, but yeah, so I would say the with the Stardust coasters, if you're a fan of thrills and that's what you're looking for, and you're thinking, does this park have it? Heck yeah, like 1,000%. That is the mother of racing coaster hyper coaster rides. It's insane, insane. But yeah, I want to go back, ride it at night, see what that feels like. And then you probably don't see some of the backstage things that I don't want to see when you're that
Yeah,
high
be a
up.
little more closed off, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Whew!
Oh my gosh. How
My
are you
sunburn
feeling?
eyes, my sunburn eyes have no more to give. I've given you all I've got for this 2 days of previews. Again,
Hey,
this is just a preview.
I appreciate it because you have come out of 3 days of the parks in the heat,
In the
straight
heat.
into
Yeah.
recording. You went to Volcano Bay, which already is exhausting, a water park in the heat. Then, first day for you at Epic Universe, another day Epic Universe, and you went straight into recording after. So I'm just gonna say cheers to that because my Lord, I'd be sleeping. So thank you for filling us in on all things Epic Universe. Even spoiler
Wow.
free. I can't even we could probably have like 15 different. We're gonna turn in
We
just be
haven't
an Epic
had like
Universe
an
podcast at some
almost
point.
2 hour episode in quite a while.
I know, I know. Well, thank you for walking us through all of it. And then, of course, we talked a little bit about Dapper Day and Phat Cat Swinger over at Disneyland.
Dun-dun-dun.
What an episode.
Thanks for sticking with us almost 2 hours. We appreciate you all listening. And also shout out to all the our Instagram followers who have been following along and writing and asking questions as we're posting live stories and things like that. This was episode 237 of the Disney Holic Show.
Follow us on social media at the Disneyholics.
And if you want to get in touch, send us a DM on Instagram or contact us at thedisneyholics.com.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.